Alright guys, this is going to be a real quick video, but I want to talk to you about something I just found out. 2025 Super Duty. Oh my god, 2022 Super Duty. It's a little windy out, apologize. I want you to see all these nicks and scratches here. So, if you look at this, obviously the paint's worn off, but this aluminum, because these beds are aluminum obviously, is actually gouged pretty far. Same thing over there. And what caused this was I used to keep my hitch in the bed of the truck against there with a bungee cord when I wasn't using it. And, well, needless to say, now I'm going to do something different. But I'll probably put it in this bin for now. But yeah, I never really thought much of it. It would just kind of rest there, and I had the bungee on it, so it wasn't really sliding around. But vibration from just driving down the road must have, over time, caused that to kind of chafe and wear. And unlike steel, you know, because the hitch is steel and that's aluminum, I mean, it just completely ate into the side of the bed. Like, I wish you could see. That's deep. It's probably like a 16th inch, if not more, in, maybe even like almost an eighth. Well, I guess this material is probably not even that thick, but it's very, you can feel it. And that kind of brings me to a point. Back in the day, 2015-ish, right? The F-150s went to an aluminum bed. And everybody, including myself, you know, was worried about what the aluminum would be like for, this is way dirtier under here than I thought. Worried about the aluminum would be like for a pickup bed. And I kind of said to myself, back in 2015, I said, I'll never buy a freaking truck with an aluminum bed. That's ridiculous. It's going to be a piece of crap, whatever, right? Well, you know, times change. It's been 10 years since I made those comments, luckily to myself and not on the internet. And I kind of realized that, well, you know, aluminum's good because of corrosion protection, or resistance, I should say, weight, so you can get more payload for a given GVWR and all that kind of fancy stuff. So there's a lot of benefits to having aluminum. However, as I just showed you, there is a negative. My hair is all over the place, guys. Negative is there. The other thing is, it just sounds weak. You know, I'm not saying it is. It just, like, it doesn't give you that, like, nice, I don't know. Like, it just feels soft. And if we go here, even the floor of the bed, it's kind of why I was pulling this up earlier. The floor of the bed, it just, like, it sounds very tinny, you know? And I also don't have a bed liner, which is definitely a mistake, as I found out. You should definitely get a bed liner for these trucks, like a, you know, spray-in bed liner on top of the bed mat if you want it. But let's go over here to a steel bed for a hot second here. Sorry, my shoes are all squeaky. But old school, like, it just has a certain density to it. And of all the crap that I've put in here, I've never once even really wore through this bed liner, much less the actual steel of the bed. So, I mean, you really can't deny. This tailgate's heavier, so much heavier too. I gotta give this thing the spring cleaning I just gave to the Ford. But anyway, you know, you can't deny. I mean, listen to that. Like, that is freaking steel, man. Like, these fenders, I mean, they're solid. Hood, you know, and you come over to the Super Duty, and, you know, it's just, I mean, it's solid, but, you know, it's just not the same. So my point is, of all this, you know, it's trade-offs. And what do I really prefer as an owner of an old school steel-bodied truck, GMT 800 Silverado, and a fancy schmancy, I cut my finger, fancy schmancy aluminum body Ford? You know, what do I really prefer, if I'm just being honest? In the Northeast, I still think the peace of mind of having aluminum for the corrosion protection is a no-brainer. I think you just can't match that. It's just, rust and rot is going to become a bigger issue than the potential for dents, in my opinion. You can pull dents, you can just be a little more careful, you can do bed liners with a bed mat and all those kinds of things. On a steel truck, unfortunately, you're just crap out of luck if you, if it rots out, right? You know, replace a bunch of sheet metal, which really sucks. So I would still say aluminum for sure, but there are very real trade-offs. And if somebody were to come in here and make the argument that they would much rather have a steel-bodied truck, especially if you live in a less salty environment, 1000% get it. Totally understand. I would not argue with you one bit. I think you're really onto something with that. It's a perfectly valid opinion. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. In summary, steel is king, at least for overall toughness, salt-free climates. I think this is tried and true. You know, you kind of can't go wrong. And hey, this thing's covered in salt. I've kept it crowned. It's in really good shape underneath. So it can be done. You can have a steel body truck with its original factory rockers, albeit, you know, they're not perfect, right? But it can be done. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.